Today is a great day in the history of the university, and we're very pleased to have you here with us. Kindly permit me to introduce members of the university management that are here this morning to receive Baba and partake in the great things that we want to do today. The Vice Chancellor of the university is the leader of the community, and is, of course, it should be, is there present this morning, Professor Kayode Oyebode Adebowale, MNI, FES, FSBS. The Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration and Chairman UI at 75 Anniversary Committee is also here with us, Professor Peter Olamakide Olapigba, The bossa of the university is unavoidably absent. His name is Mr. Adewoye Mupola, but he's been ably represented this morning by a deputy bossa, Mr. A.A. Adriano. The university librarian is here with us, Dr. Marcy A. Iruaganachi. We have here with us a member of the governing council of the university, the president of the UI Alumni Association Worldwide, Professor S.G. Iyitio. We have Dean of the Faculty of Science, Professor O. Shonibare. Dean, Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences, Professor A. Folawe. A former member of the Governing Council of the University and a doyen of economics in Africa, Professor Ukola. Director of the Office of Alumni Relations, Professor Humbi Olasope. Director of the Teaching and Research Farm of the University, Professor T.O. Oshosoya. Managing Director of the UI Microfinance Bank, Mr. O.J. Oluwashino. Professor B.I.O. Downsey. Director of the UI Water Project, Professor E.A. Ajam. Director of Works and Maintenance for the University, Engineer A.O. Adetolu. Representative of the Office of University Advancement Center, Mrs. Ojurade Omishade. Deputy Registrar in the Vice Chancellor's Office, Mr. Oluwole Dada. And my name is Joke Akinpelu. I'm a Deputy Registrar and a Public Relations Officer for the university.
Members of the council who are present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our special guest of honor today, Chief Tunde Fanimokun, I want to introduce members of this team to you. Needless to say, all of us are here because of him, and therefore it's only fit and proper Vice Chancellor that I introduce our special guests, and one popularly called the birthday boy, Chief Tunde Fanimokun. Can you give me a hand? Chief Tunde Fanimokun any introduction in many parts of Nigeria. But being in these hallowed chambers, Santo Santo of the university, kindly allow me to give a brief profile of the special guest who has invited us to this hall today. Chief Tunde Fanimokun. This is Kion Odusora in Lagos. If you like us call him Sean Odusora. But he attended University of Ife as a graduate of economics. Shortly after that, he joined the Lagos State Civil Service and also become the permanent secretary of the dynamic governor of Lagos State, JPR, Japan. Can you give me a round of applause? At that time, it was generally regarded as the powerhouse of that dynamic governor. I think he left state service about the age of 40. He retired on Friday, and by Saturday was actually sought for by Chief Fanimokun then the Ibadan of Lagos, and the chairman of Fanimokun Estate. He worked with me as an executive director, and he was in that capacity till the chief passed away. He performed so brilliantly well with him that the chief made him a life director. You can say he's a game changer. That would be a terrible understatement. But in Lagos State, he was very close to you. And out of nowhere, almost out of nothing, he brought into being that great institution, British International School. Everybody wanted him to become the governor of Lagos State. And he's perhaps the best governor of Lagos State ever had. Professor Chief Tunde Fanimokun, I can go on speaking and talking about you for a long time. But I've got another opportunity for me, perhaps, to do so, either today or later. But the point I want to make here, before I introduce another person, is the fact that here is a man who has a heart of gold and who has come to give golden gifts to the best of the time. With due respect, Vice Chancellor, sir, I may not follow the order in which people are seated. As you have observed, I agree with what you have said. I would like to introduce next the Director of Finance of Chartered Institute of Management. That's Dr. I would also like to introduce to this distinguished audience Chief Tunde Kalina. Next, may I also introduce Architect Leke Iwapo. who is the project consultant. We also have here with us Professor Okusemi Tope. Dr. Okusemi. May I also introduce Mr. Dentil. Introduce Mrs. Stella Olajinka. And Mr. Dr. Oluwafunmilayo. I believe that. Honorable Hassan Olarika. I'm also happy that Mrs. Lola De Salvador is here. We have three people on our Saturday. May I introduce Alaji N.A. Olola. Also, Alaji Ibrahim Olatunji Oyebaki from our family. Alaji Adamson Idris is also here from our family. Temilade, Mrs. Temilade James. May I also introduce Architect Shegun Adobe. Vice Chancellor, sir. That's what I know. And a humble self, T.J. Obatamasi. Prince Akishigoyin.
Olusoya Badamoshi, a retired professor of history, a loud round of applause.
University of Ibadan, 1968. So you can know that he's a great alumnus of this university. The Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research, Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, our Registrar, the Bossa, who is ably represented, the University Librarian, the President of the University of Ibadan Alumni Association, the Dean of the Faculty of Science, Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences, the Director, Office of the Alumni Relations in the Vice Chancellor's Office, the Director of our Teaching and Research Firm, University Teaching and Research Firm, the Managing Director of the University of Ibadan Microfinance Bank, the PRO of the University. We appreciate you very profoundly. Baba, permit me to, somebody said if you stand on existing protocol, you are likely going to break it, even when you consider my weight and so on. But just permit me to gingerly lean on the protocols that have been established by Professor T.G.O. I welcome the entourage of Baba Agbakin. And then finally, Chief Tunde Fanimokun Agbakin, a distinguished negotiator, a pace setter, a philanthropist par excellence, who have served this country meritoriously in Lagos State without any blemish. As a seasoned administrator, a technocrat, and the developmental economics, it is quite understandable why you have so much accolades and also your philanthropic gestures. You know, as you are celebrating, you recently celebrated your 80th birthday. University of Ibadan followed it very, very closely. The University of Ibadan is highly privileged, indeed privileged, to be a beneficiary of your magnanimity, particularly at this very time and season. The university had just celebrated its 76th anniversary of its existence as a university, which I know a university that is the pride of tertiary education in Nigeria. Permit me to just say a few words about the university. The University of Ibadan started very small, and all the things that concerns the establishment of the university started sometimes in 1946, even before independence. Then we were governed by they called the British West Africa. There were a number of committees that were set up to actually look at the direction, to consider the direction of tertiary education in the then British West Africa. There is the Elliott Commission and then the Asquith Commission that was set up about the same time, so that they will be able to provide the background of what tertiary education would be like at that time. And the two commissions submitted their reports, and in fact, one of the commission, the Elliott Commission, it has both the majority and minority reports. Or it appeared that it was the majority report that was followed. The report stated very clear that at that time they needed 3 universities in the then British West Africa. That there will be one university in Ibadan called University College Ibadan, and it's going to serve as a college of the University of London with a full-fledged of British tradition of excellence. The second is supposed to be in Ghana, University of Ghana, Legon, and in fact, both of them took off the same day. And then the third, which is in Sierra Leone, called Forabe College in Sierra Leone. Those 3 universities, they are thematic areas. But let me just leave the 2 and come to our University College. University College started with 3 faculties, which was the focus at that time. The Faculty of Arts, which looks at arts and humanities. There is the Faculty of Science, that looks at science and all its related courses. And then finally, the Faculty of Medicine. In 1948, when the university took off, the undergraduate students that were admitted, just about 104. I can still tell you, part of those people that started, we still have some few that are still living. One of them, the first woman professor in Nigeria, Professor Adetong Ogunseye, is still living. And in fact, in many of our programs, you will see her. All our convocation ceremonies, you will see her come. But let me just tell us that now, at the university, celebrating its 76th anniversary, our 3 faculties have grown. The university has grown in leaps and bounds. Now we have 21 faculties, 140 departments, and 2 colleges. Our Faculty of Medicine has grown to a college of medicine with 6 faculties. And it is adjudged the best in sub-Saharan Africa in terms of teaching and clinical services. Our postgraduate college has also grown in leaps and bounds. And in fact, we are the flagship of postgraduate education in the African continent. When we celebrated our 75th anniversary, 2023, in 1 year, we produced 6,500 master's graduates and 722 doctoral graduates. Undoubtedly is the highest in the African continent. Not even any university in South Africa could match that in 1 year. But briefly, that is just University of Ibadan. Apart from this, because the vision of the University of Ibadan is actually to transit to a postgraduate university. That's why over the years we have kept on reducing our undergraduate intake and finally increasing our postgraduate intake. And I can say that as of now, 2025, we have edged very close to having a 60-40 ratio. 60% of postgraduate and 40% of undergraduate. The university is also home to the Pan-African University of Life and Earth Sciences Institute, PALESI, including health and agriculture, which is an initiative of the African Union Commission. The idea of that university, which is also a postgraduate university, is for Africa to be able to have some of the Pan-Africa in 5 of the sub-regions of Africa, so that together they will be able to address Africa's developmental problems. As we have one representing Southwest, we also have there is one representing the East Africa. We have one representing one is in South Africa, representing South Africa. There is one in Cameroon, there is one in Algeria, there is one in Kenya. With the one representing the Southwest, we can now have 5 in the African continent. And as we speak, we have postgraduate students from 46 African countries that is on our campus. A new set, and they have various thematic areas. In South Africa, all that they were talking about it concerns each of those universities have different thematic areas, but our own is focused on life and earth sciences, geology, and also some veterinary medicine and so on. It's a privilege for us to be gathered here today. How today came into being, when I slept in the night, I was just thinking about it. It became very difficult for me to be able to pinpoint how it started. But I know that things, that growth in this form usually starts very small. What consummated today's gathering, because this is just a starting point, is just a small discussion between Professor TGO and the Vice Chancellor in his office. Unfortunately, I never knew him. He just came in very quietly, and the discussion started. And sincerely, we had also discussed, when he sat very close to me, it is just that how it happened, he himself could not be able to trace it. Things, a relationship and a partnership that will be enduring, that is essentially how it starts. On behalf of the university, let me particularly appreciate Chief Tunde Fanimokun. I do not want at this point to let all the cat out of the bag. But there is no way that the cat also will not also escape in one form or the other. I have a speech here of about 8 pages, but I'm not going to go into it. But I can tell you that what we are going to witness, but very shortly, we will witness a signing of memorandum of understanding between the DSC Foundation and the University of Ibadan. We will all witness it. And then, thereafter, we will also be able to witness the conferment of UI at 75 Ambassador Extraordinary. The idea of UI at 75 Ambassador came when we celebrated our 75th anniversary. And we felt that with the number of years that the University of Ibadan have been in existence, it is good for us to build some searchlight, you know, to all our alumni and also those that are friends of the university, and then to make them ambassadors. I'm not going to give a lot of details about that because the chairman of the UI at 75 ambassador is the one seated directly at my right hand. He will be able to give some few remarks even concerning that by the time we get there. But permit me, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to say that what we are going to witness very, very soon as we finish this, what I want to call the opening ceremony, is the turning of the sword of a number of edifices. Of which the university has not witnessed in 76 years. There's going to be a building of the Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences that is worth about 4.5 billion naira. You know, as a CEO, chief executive of the university, there are certain amount of money, even when I hear it, it's as if I should just collapse. If I hear billions, and then thereafter the Faculty of Science postgraduate complex that is also worth 2.5 billion. There are a number of ones. We have the professorial chair. In fact, there is a lot of categories. The category that is on category A is worth about 10.5 billion naira. And you can see our UI water enterprises will benefit. The Office of the Alumni Relations in the Vice Chancellor's office will benefit. Our microfinance bank will benefit. I can mention that. Our microfinance bank will benefit up to 5 billion naira. Don't let me reveal all the other ones so that I know that for a very long time, you know, we will remember, we will be able to remember this. And it's coming at a very important date in the calendar of the whole world. And I'm not sure, my eyes is just moving around. I don't know how many people were compliant. It's only Princess that I see here that is completely compliant. It's completely compliant. My registrar also tried to be compliant. When you look at his pocket and you look at his tie, he appeared to want to.
He's pretending to come.
So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you and I welcome you.
Community, our own Baba Tunde Fanimokun, and other dignitaries that have accompanied Baba to this ceremony. In true sense of it, your celebrations can last a lifetime. When you I turned 75, sir, the Vice Chancellor decided to lead the university out to roll out the drums and celebrate. So we started, and this celebration has continued since 2023. And we are happy also that about this time, the Agaki is in celebration mood. And so when love meets joy, you know the celebration galore continues. It is on that note, sir, that on behalf of the University of Ibadan, the first and the staff was not even allowing me to make any request. And on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and the good people of the University of Ibadan, we hereby encourage you as UI Ambassador Extraordinaire. Congratulations. And to commemorate this, we want to present this back to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, let's go back. No,
To commemorate this
And our expectation is that you remain a member of the family and you seek the good of the family always. We cannot rule out anything to say we expect ABCD from you because what you've done has been tremendous and we are quite appreciative. Now that a relationship has started, you are free to come to the University of Ibadan anytime. You are free to send for the Vice Chancellor anybody from the University of Ibadan anytime. And of course, you are very free to knock on your door anytime, to be part of your family, to be part of your celebration. This we have made up our minds to do. You've been a very good man, a man with a heart of gold, and of course, you are spreading the good into the University of Ibadan. Your Excellency, welcome. God bless you.
Deputy Vice Chancellor, Registrars, all of the students, University Management, I thank you all for the honor you have given me. The decoration is wholeheartedly accepted. All the functionalities you have given are accepted. The only one I will ask for an amendment is that don't send your Vice Chancellor to me again. Anything you waiting, let me come here. Anything let me come here. And I'll tell you why. Towards the end of my remarks. First and foremost, I want to thank you for this great honor. You are adding a lot of joy to the birthday ceremony. The birthday said you don't know the origin, but I will tell you briefly. I got hooked by Lagos State government immediately I stepped out of the university. I happen to be one of the foundation graduates that Mubarak Johnson recruited. And he gave us an assignment. Lagos State must be great. Lagos State must remain high. That was the type of inspiration I got. It's getting employed on the better approach without applying for it. My name was penciled down before I left the shores of the University of Ibadan. And when I got to Lagos, I went to Federal to get employed. They said, no, they are waiting for you in Lagos. I said, how come? Because the government did not educate me. I didn't know that some of us have been penciled down to come and be the pioneer of Lagos State Public Service. Today when I look back, I thank God Almighty that has been part and parcel of laying the foundation for the prosperity of Lagos State. That was the beginning of the story. The second part of it was in Ibadan here that I had a chance of meeting my great boss, my role model, Alhaji Latif Jakonde. I was in the house of Professor Fanimokun, and Jakonde was then preparing to become governor of Lagos. I didn't know. I wasn't a politician, I was not interested. Along the line, Professor Fanimokun said that the young man heading the planning of Lagos State government. That is the man who single-handedly was going to write the development plan of Lagos State. And Jakonde turned to me and said, young man, what's the name? I told him my name. He said, what? Fanimokun. From Udogo in Lagos, I said, yes, sir. Younger brother to Fundayo, yes, sir. Okay, tell me what you know about Lagos State. I didn't know I was going to write my own history. I was just freshly trained from abroad in project planning, and I started Monkabik Bakari. Oh, Lagos State is this, it will be this, it will be that, 180 kilometers of land from Babi to Badagry, tourism. When we start tourism, it will be more than Miami Beach, this other thing. I didn't know Jakonde was taking notes. At the end of my, whatever we call it, he told me, without my knowing, that would be my right-hand man when I become governor of Lagos. I was not part of it. So when Jakonde came in, he made his announcement the following day and announced me as the permanent secretary in charge of economic development and land matters in Lagos State. That was never existed before then. I made inquiry to find out about this, but by the time I had the opportunity of sitting down with Jakonde for the first time, I got home and I told my wife, "Among what shall we tell of gave me a long list of assignments which are not bothering, but one of them, as at that time, 1004 was the end of Lagos. And Jakonde told me, your department will open up the Lagos State from 1004 to the boundary of Is it not a reality today?
Yes.
Today I hear about the new Dakote factory here. I just love and thank God. I hear about the port. I love and thank God. So as a result, what I'm celebrating is the joy of being part and parcel of the development right from the beginning. And there are no doubt about it. Without any apology, Lagos is the smallest in size, is the biggest in population, is the most prosperous economy. If you doubt it, check from the figure. As of 2023, the internally generated revenue of Lagos State was equal to the internal revenue of 20 other states combined. All people that do work, I thank God for being part of it. But we're also trained to be very humble. We are trained to be very honest. We are trained in incorruptibility. We are trained in the way that you are to serve government when you are in government, not to serve yourself. All these things I grew up with. And by the time Jakonde came in and made me his right-hand man, so it was, and I was with him throughout his tenure. So when eventually the military came and they were setting up group, I confronted the military and told them you will never ever find anything funny against Jakonde. And Jakonde was saying the same thing about me when he was in prison. At the end of the day, the two of God got a clearance that you are. So what I'm doing today here is to look back my young days, how I went to the service, how I served Japan, served Kosuke, and finished it here. And they did their own thing. Inquiry about me, that he must be having something to hide. At the end of the day, nothing happened. So I'm sitting behind you as one of the few Nigerians that never got involved with any corruption. I was in charge of land allocation in Lagos State throughout the period of their country. There was no scandal. Since I left government, there has not been any scandal, and there can never have been any better for as long as what I'm celebrating, Mr. Chairman, is the joy of passing through it. It's not my making, it's the blessing of God and those who I happen to have passed through. So to now tell you the story, when I left government on the Friday, the following day I got engaged by Collaborative Group of Companies. It was a surprise to me myself, but I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know that you Collaborative had common friends that I Japan. So they are the one telling him how valuable I have been to Japan administration. So Collaborative was praying that God would give him somebody like me to help him nurse his empire. So when I put in my letter of voluntary retirement on a Friday, Collaborative was at a function the following day. And some of his friends said, what a pity. Tunde Fanimokun has left public service of this university. Collaborative said, what? What are you saying? Oh, I thank God for this good news. So the church was not well. He said, which work? He said, look, I've built enough of resources. What our government is not doing today, Collaborative talked about it almost 45 years ago. He said, I made enough money. I want to put the surplus in the hands of somebody who will help me build my empire, who will help me train my children, and you are the one choosing for me. I said, how come? They don't know, I've been hearing about you. So from day one, Collaborative handed over his empire to me, and I thank God, last year I marked 40 years of working for Collaborative. It has been a life of productivity, it has been a life of resourcefulness, it's a life of self-fulfillment, to the extent that when Collaborative died about 20 years ago, he made me a life director. As a result, I'm benefiting from the separate service I give Lagos State. I've been benefiting from the separate service I've given Collaborative, and more importantly, or equally importantly, the Orulu family invited me to come and help them manage their new estate. It was the old Morocco. It started from Morocco to whatever it is today. I was privileged to help establish Banana Island, which at one time it turned out to be the most expensive land in the world. So when you look at all this one, I feel fulfilled. And I made a decision, 10 years to my 10th birthday, that I build government talents, or what is called in academics ask, aptitude, skill, and knowledge, to build Lagos State, to build Collaborative Empire, to build university. I wanted to be something for myself. And that was the beginning of my foundation, which was formed in 2012. I said within the period of 10 years, I want to be in a position at my 10th birthday to pay back to the society what I have benefited from. To pay back in terms of contributing to educational development, entrepreneurship, empowerment, and to thank God for the fathers, our biological fathers. And there happen to be 5 of them, starting with Mobolaji Johnson, who recruited me, Collaborative, who grabbed me after leaving government, Jakonde, who entrusted it to me, and late Justice Ishola Oluwa. That was how I grabbed Professor Tiju. No matter how big, he will never say no to me on any assignment. And I take advantage of that. I don't ask him for his assignment. Let him do what I want to do. That's how I grabbed him to establish College of Education, and we are going to build a University of Education. So I was a year to my birthday. I thought of him. I said, this is the type of thing I can give to life, give to the professor. And I called him. Next year I'm turning 18. I've built up enough resources privately. It's not the type of money any FCC will bother about. I'm not involved in contracts. I don't do any something. I want you to be in charge of me. Design a program for my 10th birthday. And the program I wanted was not to cost more than 7 to 8 billion of my own resources. He did the package. I was suspecting him that he would be very partial. But he was not. That was the important thing. I knew in my mind he would be partial, but I was waiting for him to bring it to me. I also suspected because he is part and parcel of the University of Lagos, he also did not partial. The interesting thing was that the report the professor gave me, only one item was listed for the University of Ibadan. And I grabbed this cold-heartedly. And that is because in project management. And that is what I'm doing in partnership with the Chartered Institute of Project Management for the advisory service. When you put in the academic, they put you in the practical, and for the future of our country. I have nothing other thing like that one. When they mentioned they would name the building after me, I said, what was my business with that? We are naming the institute for the future of this country. Some people conceive as the Vice Chancellor said, what will become of West Africa? Then, some people thought about it, and that's the type of thing I'm doing. I want to put back to the society what I've benefited you. Nothing at stake, nothing that. I'm not doing that as an is coming from the report he submitted. But when I'm rounding up my remarks, I will report to the Vice Chancellor. He did his job and recommended only one item. And that is the institute, that is the chair, Professor Fanimokun. He also recommended that Ibadan would be the best institute to handle. He didn't know I also thought Ibadan should be selected. But I'm a great beneficiary of the University of Ibadan. To let you know, when I was made the head of planning of Lagos State, I was too young. My exposure was limited. My knowledge, almost nothing to write about. It was the University of Ibadan that assisted me to cope with that assignment. They gave me for record purpose a panel of mentor professors to remind you my age, under 30 or thereabouts, and having sitting in the midst of Professor Magogunje, Apoyade, Edosian, Kayode, those are my panel of advisors. I was relating with them as if I was also a professor. We would take one aspect of Lagos, its economy, tourism, agriculture, we would share it into pieces, we would debate, we would do that type of thing. That was just enriched me to be able to cope with it. So whatever I'm doing for the University of Ibadan today is well deserved. By the time I became the head of planning program, people thought I went somewhere for any training. It was the training I got on the negotiation team with the manager there. So that is part of the history I'm putting together in about October that I'm planning to launch in a year's time. Having said that one, what is the origin of what we are celebrating? You are one of the 13 beneficiaries of my endowment program. Yours happens to be one of the biggest. And it is well. Now that you have made me an ambassador, it will not be the end of the story. Don't say Professor Kayode again to my house. Now let me talk briefly about it. Today is a special day, Valentine's Day for that matter. As Adam Bible, I have never ever got out of Lagos when in Nigeria celebrating Valentine's Day outside Lagos. But some of us from Lagos believe we equal along one. All the other ones are doing it so. If you look at what I will sing, what I've been telling the people in Federal. Ekolo lokun losa.
Ìkólòlò kún lọ sà, àwa lọ́lọ́run fún.
Boys proper, the Goshen to the core, but I know we are only part of a big country, a potentially big country. God will give us the right leadership to be where Nigeria should be. Nigeria is meant to be big. I gave the lecture at Lasu about 2 weeks ago, and I quoted what Aliko Dangote said in one of his interviews. He said one of the greatest secrets of the world is Nigeria. One of the greatest cities of the world is Nigeria. How did Dangote start with this? With 500,000 naira, a loan from his uncle, putting things in the boot, coming to Lagos to sell, and see what he is now, the richest man in Africa. And he's using himself as if there is nothing impossible in this country. And that is why I'm a strong believer in entrepreneurship. Let's open the minds of the young ones. Let's give them their talent and other things to be there. But for today, I want to thank you for dragging me out of Lagos, and thank you for the appreciation, because it is Ibadan. University, that is right. Ibadan means a lot to me for so many reasons. Number one, in relation to two of my role models. Obafemi Awolowo happened to share my birthday with me March 6th, and my hero to that extent. His political career was linked with Ibadan, far more than his hometown of Kenya. Or when he came on sabbatical at Lagos, Lekki, after the Tuesday book release, he was put over in Lekki. And his boy, Jaconde, my own boss, transformed Lekki now into what it is. That's the story for another day. So those two people, I admire them a lot for so many reasons. Because of that, it's there. But more importantly, Ibadan on his own has also cultivated a very high image for itself. As the VC likely put it was established fully as a college in 1948. When the VC mentioned this in Lagos, I said, I was only 4 years old then. So you can imagine the glory of an 80-year-old man remembering the institution established for that time, and now in a position to be able to assist you. I'm doing so from the bottom of my heart. The word God has given me, who I call myself a reluctant millionaire, that the word God has given me is not for you. I'll give you your own portion to enjoy that. But the money for me is meant for the development of Nigeria. It's meant for the future of this country. It's meant for entrepreneurship. Open the mind. You can have many more for that year. Have many more than voting if the training is proper. And God will continue to help you. His own reputation. I personally had opted to come to the University of Ibadan because I knew no better place then. As the only boy of my family, traveling out of the country was out of the question. Going to look for any boarding place. And the only university I knew, I grew up to know, was the University of Ibadan. Lagos came later, but I thought and was hoping to come to the University of Ibadan until my plan changed in 1964 for a private reason that I will disclose to you. So, I'm part and parcel of the University of Ibadan. In spirit, I admire you as a distance, and you have been living up to your high reputation. God will continue to help you to uplift it and be the star model in the pinnacle of that. I'm also impressed that you are giving the undergraduate sector for postgraduate exposure. That in itself is also attractive to me. That you are contemplating the list of African centers of excellence and things that matter. For all this, I know I owe you my own little contribution and I propagate it among those that are inclined to rally around you. You are doing a big job. When I saw your papers about your funding, I pity how you are managing yourself. In terms of responsibility and resources, in terms of bringing resources from one year to the other, that is why I'm running around. So I'm doing this for Ibadan with all my heart. At 80, I'm already nearing the baton age. But by the time I will be around, you will hear a lot about from me. I know Ibadan has its own other quality. I didn't know the meaning of that expression until my mother told me. My Ibadan was a distant thing. My mother told me, this is the meaning. You know the meaning of it. And at the time of the cost carpeting in Nigeria, you know what is happening? Yes. The great artillery will not go into that. And when Amala politics, and when he also said always was something special about Ibadan. In status, in name, in size, in dynamism, in complexity. Almost every part of the Ibadan is here. So for all these reasons, I feel honored to be among you. Yes, I feel honored to be recognized, and I'm promising I will give you my best to the best. Not only that, I've established a foundation that will outlive me. I'm his chairman now, I'm pioneer chairman. In course of time, I will pass to other. But Ibadan will remain part of the focus that that foundation will always be held. We are doing very well, and the limits, as they say in development economics, there is no limit of prosperity. Yes. Sustainable development is attainable goal. If you aspire and do that, I believe you have an assignment to continue doing so. Yes. I will continue also to thank and God will. The last but not the least is that I want to report your vice chancellor. Yes. and I want you to agree with me. I'm going to decorate him with my own title. If you don't agree with me, I'll go back to legal with my We met for the first time officially after sending Professor Karamati to do this report to find out. In no quiet manner, he didn't give me all the details. He just said, we have discovered, they are coming back to the plan. What date? 9th of January, fine. We are, let's make a meeting right now. That is cool. I participated in the service. And we met. Quite honestly, that meeting was a turning point in my relationship with your university. Whatever I knew about you, I changed that day. Professor refused to sit down. I said, please sit down. He said, no. If I knew where I was going, I would have insisted. And what he said today was some of things he said. You could see he was speaking from his mind. How the university started, how he was in a humble manner, and he used some expression that touched my heart. The biggest tree in the world will start like a seed. The land is properly nurtured and properly handled like it goes to my future. You are going to my future, and it is very safe in his hands. The work he did that day, I don't even require he would need any publication of this idea. He told me the origin of that. He told me it's no more among the other universities. He's going to put graduate. And he taught my heart by telling me the history of the Faculty of Social Sciences in Ibadan. How he knew it or not, I wouldn't know. I benefited from the University of Social Sciences and the University of History. The great history, the only one in the world. At that time, it was not broken. But I graduated in economics and showed special interest in sociology. So that's at the end of my career, I was able to have interest in development economy. Economy is not a day study, it's for the past and for the future. And to get it there, you have to understand every society at their own level. So that is my specialty in development economy. Somehow, your VC told me how Faculty of Social Sciences started in Ibadan. How it has not expanded enough to have Faculty of Economics. I said, my God, You mean my great institution that was mad? I didn't know he was working to his purpose. At the end of the day, he said he wants a faculty of economics to be pulled out of. If you are in a position, what will you say? Yes or no? You will agree now. I thought he would end up there. He moved on to post graduate. I said, don't talk again. Don't just say for this. Before he left Lagos, he ended up getting, I think, about 4 or 5 projects from me. I'm doing the chair in honor of a volume. He got 3 other things for him. He said he would send me for that message. Whether it was briefed as I like meeting, I don't know. He sent me back full of unbelievable sizes of books. Encyclopedia for 2 people. The documents about UI, short statistics, I read all of them. But by the time I finished reading, I was in his pocket. I was important to say that whatever I do now want, I will give you them. Fortunately for me, he was not in town, but I didn't know he had briefly advised very well. That one, he showed the same version, and he came with this lady I'm looking at. He also started teaching, I'm thinking University of Ibadan, very lucky. As at this time, point in time, I think I start across, and you have people that will go places. So I want to thank the procedure to thank you. I assure you, your university vision, but I hated my private study. I don't want to speak for more than 20 minutes. When it's 15 minutes, send a signal to me. So I need to invite me to London. He was just looking at me and said, I'm not here. He said, go. I don't think maybe he has not been doctored by something long. So, to say it, I'm very happy to do this. Yes. You are contributing to the happiness of my life. You have also assisted in pushing it forward. I'm rounding on my 5 days on the 12th of April. That is when I'm making a formal announcement of all the divisions of things. I'm disclosing everything. I'm going to pay the press. I will answer them. I will invite the FCC and everyone else. Because it's like a miracle. I serve wholeheartedly as a public officer. I serve wholeheartedly. I serve with you wholeheartedly. But the benefits I'm getting now, they are too much for me to spend. Rather than say that. One of them I will mention. Exactly a year today, the project was brought to me. It was a project I did 30 years ago. But because government needed somebody to put reading touch on into this, I agreed to do it. At the end of the day, this week, the project is a 5 trillion naira. Wow. And that is the profit that 1 trillion naira. If you know Lagos State government budget, the richest in the country is 3.36 trillion naira for this year. But only the project of 5.3 trillion. And you can imagine. So the benefit I'm getting here, what I'm trying to give out, to give out of the system. And I will believe in the concept of manure. Manure is a nuisance if you are allowed to pilot. You will be running away because of the smell of air. But if you spread it wisely, it will fertilize the land, you get more, and everybody will be very happy. That's what we are not learning in Nigeria. We are neglecting our agriculture and that is what we are doing. So based on that, I think people don't tell me I need more than 5 minutes. Is that I'm very happy to be here. I appreciate the honor you are coming, and I'm promising you, as long as you don't send professors to the world, I will do what you want. When he was not in Lagos the last time, he just did a good job with the others. They started rolling out some other things that I would do. So when they left, I said, I rather put a ceiling to what they are asking for. And I put a ceiling of 2 billion. whatever they bring now, 2 billion, asking what he has sent me, who are coming. So what I just did, I was to pick certain things that covered, that we talk about the other one. He wrote me a note yesterday that he's coming back to discuss with me. He really wants to be. He's totally committed to his assignment. He's happy working with you people. He has reliable lieutenant, and that is why you can get the best productivity in any organization. I congratulate you. I wish you.
Sing a birthday song for Agaki. The birthday celebration is still ongoing till April 12th. So it's never late. We are in the midst of it. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. May the good Lord keep you. May the good Lord keep you. May the good Lord keep you. May the good Lord, may the good Lord, may the good Lord keep you.
Has placed you in a class of your own. You are a man that fears God, radiating the love of God by spreading your God-given wealth to put smiles on the faces of people, enhancing humanity and saving institutions from going under. We salute you, sir. Particularly at a time in our country when others are busy accumulating money and locking them up in banks, you chose to deploy yours to the service of humanity. We can only pray that God will reward you abundantly here on earth and also hereafter. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me refresh in our mind again that some few minutes ago, we signed a couple of memoranda of understandings to formalize these benefactions that were just part of the series of benefactions. I am glad to inform you that the second part of the benefaction have already been approved in principle to upscale our microfinance bank to a national entity that will fully commercialize our teaching and research firm also to a competitive agro-allied concern. The third part of the tripod will directly impact positively on our officers and in turn the university into an active player of a real estate development. That's one of the reasons that I will have to make several visits to the Agbaki. Our dear Chief Fanimokun, words are not enough to appreciate your heart of gold, as have been said so many times, and your thoughtfulness. We promise to maximize these benefactions and put it to good use. It is our sincere desire that this will mark the beginning of an enduring and sustainable partnership between our university, Chief Tunde Fanimokun, through the DSC Foundation. And as we turn the sword for the construction of these two buildings today, we look forward to the speedy completion and eventual commissioning thereafter. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very profoundly for being part of this historic occasion. Once again, Chief, thank you for putting smiles on our faces. On behalf of the university, the entire university community, I say happy birthday, sir.
Acceptable, unacceptable, sir.
Thank you very much. What you are doing is hard work. Even the pictures I'm looking before me is making me so excited. So the two people by my side are the people who brought me up. Brother Wiyo handed over his empire to me wholeheartedly. That day, if I remember, he told me today, I have made a fortune of 600 million pounds. And I want to hand it to somebody who helped me, no choice, who helped me train my children, etc., etc. And you are the chosen one. When I was trying to say, Baba, I'll go and think, I was saying, no, you are not thinking about anything. Just tell me you are coming to do it. And as I said, yes, last year marked 40 years of working with Brother Wiyo. I've assisted in getting all blocks. I've assisted in putting up buildings. And at the end of the life of the man, he made me a life director. The implication is that he has given me shares in all these things. These are good enough. But at 80, what do I want to do with it? So the surplus I'm using for the future of our country. And you are the molding one responsible. God will continue to guide you and protect you. I congratulate you and wish you all the very best.
If Tunde Fanimokun Agaki this morning, talking about aptitude, skills, and knowledge, this is where we generate them. How do you appreciate an enigma who has this golden heart, golden aptitude, golden skills, and golden knowledge, not just of man, but of God and the hereafter? The Vice Chancellor has said it, that His Excellency is in a class of his own. It's actually a rare class. Given the University of Ibadan the largest benefaction in 76 years of our existence here. Sir, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I want to appreciate you. I don't know if the word appreciate is good enough. You know, it's easy for you to have come here today with just our own Professor Badamasi, but you came with an entourage that is twice the size of those of us who are gathered to receive you. And we cannot thank you enough, sir. Thank you very much. If we say, may God continue to bless you, I don't know what more we are talking about. But in this part of the world, when we say God bless you, it is not just the material wealth. We're talking of good health. We're talking of generational blessings. And we're talking about the hereafter. We know God Himself is smiling at you now, and He will bless you.
I want to appreciate the entire entourage of His Excellency for coming to be part of this epoch-making occasion. I pray that we will all be alive at the commissioning, because I'm sure Baba will come and do the commissioning very soon. Let me appreciate our own for not forgetting us, and that is Professor Daramasi. We thank you very much, sir. We call them our living ancestors, and I'm sure those ancestors who are no longer on this part of the divide will be smiling at you also today for not forgetting the University of Ibadan. God bless you, sir. I'm not going to say thank you, only to congratulate the 13th Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan that this is happening during your tenure. I say hearty congratulations to you and other members of this university community. Of course, I congratulate myself for being part of this. See you all at the commissioning. Thank you, and God bless you.